We eat bagels and biscuits for brunch.
Okay, let's unpack this a little. Because, that playful line, it's not just like a food order.
No.
It's actually the starting point for this deep dive we're doing today, just for you. Tomorrow's the big concert, right? And we've got the musical scores right here.
Mm-hmm.
And these aren't just notes, are they? They're the blueprint, really, for this live thing happening tomorrow. Full of different feelings, different stories.
Exactly. It's all in there.
And who better to walk us through it than the person who actually put it all together? Mm-hmm. We're so pleased to have the course director and the program designer with us.
It's great to be here. Thanks.
Consider yourself our listener's guide today into this musical world you've built.
Happy to.
So, our mission, if you will, is to kind of get inside your head a bit, understand why these pieces, how they connect, maybe find some little surprises hidden in the music.
Sounds good. Let's dive in.
Okay, let's start right at the top. That piece that, I gotta say, really jumped out at me. Bagels and biscuits. Ugh, yes. Theodore Lucas. Bagels and biscuits. It's a fun way to begin.
Fun is definitely the word. We eat bagels and biscuits for brunch. It's so specific. Why start there? Why kick off a whole concert focused squarely on, bagels and biscuits for brunch?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? It creates this immediate sense of just shared, simple pleasure. Theodore Lucas, the composer who actually, fun fact, was an interim vice president for academic affairs for a bit and studied with Nadia Boulanger.
Wow, really? Boulanger?
Yeah. He based it on this poem by Terry Lewison, who comes from philosophy and religion, actually. The poem's called Together.
Okay.
And we're using what Lewison called the daytime stanza. It's this lovely little image. We eat bagels and biscuits for brunch. We giggle with jam on our faces. We play while washing our fingers. And we leave together.
Giggle with jam on our faces. That's brilliant.
It's just about that simple joy,
Wow.
Everyday stuff, being together. And we wanted to share that feeling right away.
And the score notes even say it should smile, right? And full of fun and laughter, feel natural and almost childlike.
Exactly.
So starting there with that lightness, everyone having presumably finished washing our fingers from their brunch, how does that set up? What comes next?
Well, if you think about the whole journey of the concert, starting with bagels and biscuits, it's about creating warmth, an immediate connection. It's kind of an invitation, like, hey, come share this simple, happy moment before we, get into maybe heavier stuff later.
Right.
Like a friendly, we eat together. It makes everything else feel more accessible, maybe.
The musical welcome mat. Okay, so we've had our bagels and biscuits, and now, whoa, quite a shift. Chili con carne.
Yeah. Different flavor profile.
Definitely. From brunch to ripe and fresh tomatoes and onions, strong and tasty.
Right.
That's a leap. Why put those two back to back? Such a stark contrast.
It is stark, yeah. And that's partly the point. Anders Edenroth, from The Real Group.
Oh, yeah. Capella legends.
Right. So he brings this totally different energy. Mm-hmm. And the imagery in chili con carne is just so physical.
Yeah.
Choose the finest meat you get from cow or pig. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. And then that advice, eat your chili nice and slowly to prevent a stomachache.
Very practical advice.
Followed by the kicker that if your mouth gets full of fire, well, you might need something to drink. 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, 7 beers will be enough.
7 beers. Okay. Things escalated there.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So the contrast, it's stark, but it's meant to be like playful, unexpected, show the range of things music can capture. You know, keep you on your toes.
So after the childlike fun and laughter, we get this potential stomachache. And maybe a lot of beer, injected with some spice, literally and figuratively.
Exactly. It's about using humor, too.
Yeah.
Juxtaposing that innocent brunch joy with this slightly chaotic, fiery chili scenario. Mm-hmm. It engages you differently, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Highlights the breadth of experience from simply washing our fingers to, needing 7 beers.
Okay. So from potential beer emergencies to something much quieter. More internal, maybe. Crossing the bar.
Yes. Jonathan Reed.
Yeah.
Based on the Tennyson poem.
A very different feeling. You've got Sunset and Evening Star, and that line, one clear call for me, and hoping there be no moaning of the bar when I put out to sea.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It really is. And Jonathan Reed, he's got quite the reputation in choral music. So after all that energy, is this piece meant to be a pause? A moment to reflect, like looking out at the sea at sunset kind of thing.
Absolutely. If you think about the flow, crossing the bar gives us that moment of profound reflection. Tennyson's words, sunset and evening star. It's about endings, transitions.
Right.
That one clear call and wanting no moaning of the bar. It's this wish for peace, for acceptance, really. Placing it after the more high energy pieces lets everyone just settle, breathe.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of depth, emotional weight.
A moment to catch our breath before. Wait, Haydn?
Haydn, yes. Die Beredsamkeit. Eloquence.
Okay, a classical piece, German lyrics, was Mache stumm. What makes silent? And then, learnt an unserm fishin. Learn from our fish.
Yes. Learn from our fish. It's definitely intriguing.
So why Haydn here? How does this fit in? Beyond the slightly puzzling fish advice, are there musical things Haydn does that make it feel different?
Well, it brings in another whole dimension, doesn't it? Haydn, proper classical periods, a different sound world. The text was Mache stumm, learnt in unserm fischen. Yeah, it makes you think.
It does.
Musically, there's this clarity, precision. Even with the abstract text, it invites a different kind of thinking. Less about pouring out emotion, maybe more. Intellectual, pondering where wisdom comes from. Even fish.
Unexpected wisdom sources?
Right. And it also nods to the history of choral music, provides a stylistic contrast.
Okay, interesting. From silent fish to a very clear message, I choose love.
Mark A. Miller, yes, a powerful piece.
It feels really direct, especially choosing love in the midst of pain, or when sorrow falling down like rain, and even in the midst of war. That's quite a statement.
It is. And Mark Miller's work often has this hopeful quality.
So how does this piece shift the concert's energy again? We've had reflection, history. Now this feels very active, very present day.
Yeah, I think active's a good word. There's a resilience in it, you know. After reflection, after looking back, I choose love is this strong affirmation. Right now, it acknowledges the hard stuff, sorrow falling down like rain, pain, war, but insists on love as a conscious choice. Repeating, I choose love, it's almost like a mantra.
Yeah, you feel that repetition.
So in the bigger picture, it injects this active hope. It moves us from thinking towards maybe feeling and deciding.
Yeah.
A more engaged stance.
And from that broad, active choice of love, we narrow the focus a bit. In Love with You by Alec Powell.
Yes, a different kind of love song.
The lyrics are so evocative. I will fetch the golden lilies from the field. I will paint the sky a hue so bright and blue. And I have never been this much in love. It's very sweet.
Exactly. Alec Powell, who's done a lot of different musical work, brings this more intimate perspective. While I choose love is this big conscious decision against hardship.
Right.
In Love with You is more that classic, maybe romantic feeling. Fetching golden lilies, painting the sky. It's devotion, wonder, tenderness.
So showing love in different ways, the big choice versus the personal feeling.
Precisely. It adds another layer. Showing love isn't just one thing. It's the grand gesture and the quiet feeling, the universal choice and the very personal connection. Contrasting facets.
Okay, which brings us to the end. And what an ending. Dolly Parton, Light of a Clear Blue Morning.
Can't go wrong with Dolly, can you? Arranged beautifully by Craig Hellett Johnson.
It feels so hopeful. It's been a long, dark night. It's been a long, hard fight. But seeing a brand new day, a dawning, looking for the sunshine, why end here? What's the feeling you want to leave us with?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Ending with Light of a Clear Blue Morning is, well, it's about resolution, optimism. After going through all these different moods and ideas, the fun, the spice, the reflection, the history, the tough choices, the tender feelings, this image of a brand new day at dawning, it just lifts you up, doesn't it?
It really does.
It acknowledges the long, dark night, the long, hard fight, but focuses on hope, renewal, that possibility of a brighter future, looking for the sunshine. And Dolly just delivers that with such sincerity. Warmth.
A perfect landing. So looking back at this whole journey you've curated from brunch to Dolly, are there threads pulling it all together? Any big themes you see running through? Or maybe connections that surprised even you as you put it together? Like, does the jam on our faces somehow connect to the clear blue morning?
Well, maybe. What's fascinating is how these pieces, seemingly so different, end up talking about similar human things. We go from simple connections, shared brunch, giggling with jam, through all these complex feelings, history, tough choices, different kinds of love, and we land in this place of hope, that brand new day. Maybe the thread is just the human experience, its range. The aha moments, for me, often come when you hear how these different musical styles actually converse with each other. How Haydn sits next to Dolly, how brunch sits next to Chile. They enrich each other. My hope, really, is that the audience tomorrow feels that journey.
Yeah.
finds their own connections, maybe things I didn't even plan. That would be fantastic.
That's a wonderful way to think about it. So as we wrap up this deep dive, we've gone from those playful mornings where we eat bagels and biscuits, all the way to that hopeful, clear blue morning. We've encountered spicy chili where mouths might get full of fire.
And 7 beers.
Reflective moments hoping for no moaning of the bar, historical questions like, was Mische stumm? Powerful choices in the midst of pain, tender promises to fetch the golden lilies, and finally, yes, that's sunshine. Thank you so much for walking us through the why behind it all. It's been fascinating.
It's been my pleasure, truly.
And for you listening, maybe think about how all these different musical moments can blend into one experience. It's kind of a cool reminder, isn't it, that in life, too, mixing things up, the simple stuff next to the complicated stuff, the silly next to the serious, can actually lead to, well, a richer understanding.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a final thought to chew on. What musical scores are you writing in your own life right now? What different pieces are playing? And what surprising harmonies might show up if you brought them together, with intention? Something to think about.